Hi, this is Rishabh Rajan for Ask.Audio reviewing the TR-808 drum machine expander. So this TR-808 is an emulation of the classic TR-808 from Roland. But the one huge difference is that this does not have an onboard sequencer, so you will have to externally control it. It does have a 5-pin MIDI input, so you can use that. And there's also a little MIDI indicator in the front here that'll let you know if the machine is receiving MIDI. There is no USB MIDI connectivity. Now it only accepts basic note-on information, no CC controls to control these front panel dials, though you do get 3.5mm trigger inputs for the individual voices. You do get separate outputs for all the different 11 voices. So these are the level controls for the 9 voices, and then there are 2 at the bottom over here. I know the placement is a bit odd, but a total of 11 different sounds you can produce from this machine. Very knobby machine, as you can see over here. We have switches here to switch between toms and congas, rimshot and clave here, and hand clap and maracas. Now the form factor is almost identical as the original Roland TR-808, so it is a bit bulky. The knobs are pretty good, but if you want to perform with these and twist them really quickly, it'll be a bit tricky. More ideal for gradual or slow movement gestures. I like the idea of changing up the tonality of the different drum sounds in real time. So it might be a bit difficult to execute those fast automations. Now just for a size reference, here's an iPhone XR. So you can see it's definitely a big machine. Alright, let's now have a listen to the sound engine. There's a master volume control here for all the different sounds. I've connected that up, but you do get separate outputs for the individual voices. If you connect up any of the individual voice outputs, they will be eliminated from the master out. So that's kind of convenient. Now I'm going to be triggering the machine with MIDI, but you also get separate 3.5mm trigger inputs for each of the different voices. Okay, I'm going to send MIDI to the machine from my DAW. I know it's receiving the MIDI because the MIDI light is blinking. Let's bring up this first sound here, the bass drum. There's a bass drum tone control. Adds a bit more attack to the sound. There's a bass drum decay control. You can make it nice and snappy or nice and long. When it's really long, it does overlap, which is pretty interesting. Typically, you want to set this somewhere at the halfway mark. It would have been really cool to have some kind of a pitch control for that kick drum to be able to use it like a bass. Now just for the bass drum, there's also this mod section, which I'll turn off right now. So you'll hear the clean bass drum tone. No modulation here. Now let's turn it on. And now we get that pitch modulation on the kick drum. So 3 different controls for the bass drum, and of course the level control as well. I would have really loved to have some kind of a CV control to modulate these parameters, but unfortunately we don't have that. Next, we have the snare drum sound. That's a classic 808 snare sound. There's a tone control here for it. And there's also a snap control, which essentially adds the noise element. So your tone control and noise. Nice. Let's hear the close hi-hat now. The level control is over here. I'm going to change my MIDI pattern here that I'm sending to the machine. Now we can hear the hi-hat. Unfortunately, there aren't any controls for the hi-hat, so you just get a level control for it. I'm really liking the sound of this machine. I appreciate the tonal control that we have over the kick drum and snare drum in this machine. It would have been nice to have some kind of a tonality control for the hi-hat, but let's check out the open hi-hat now. That's the level control here. As you can hear, the closed hi-hat does choke the open hi-hat. We do have a separate open hi-hat decay control, So you can make it really short, almost the same as a close hi-hat, or make it nice and long. Now this choking feature is fixed. I don't think there is a way to turn it on or off. Alright, let's check out the tom section over here. Right now I've set it to the congas. So that's the low conga. I'll bring down the bass drum. So the low conga, the mid conga, and the high conga. And for each of the 3 congas, you get a pitch control. Again, it will be a lot of fun to be able to automate these parameters. Let's check out the actual toms. Switch up. So as you can hear, it's essentially the same sound, but just pitched down lower. Let's hear this with the kick drum. Of course, you can mix and match here. Have some congas and some toms. We haven't heard the rim shot, another classic 808 sound, so let's bring that up. I'm going to change my MIDI pattern here. I have the accent on, so I'm just going to bring that down for now. The accenting can be enabled via MIDI for specific steps. I'll bring down the bass drum, the snare, even the toms, so we can hear the rim shot clearer. We can switch that to a clave. Again, no timbre control for this rim shot or clave, just a level control. Next, the hand clap. This MIDI pattern does not have the hand clap, so I'm going to switch over. Right now it's on maracas, so I'm going to switch to hand clap. And there we hear the classic 808 hand clap. Now there's this VCA control, which essentially just brings up the level of the noise. When it's all the way up, you just hear noise. So you can just think of it as a bias control for the VCA. Let's switch to the maracas. Now in either sounds, when the VCA is up, you just get that noise signal. Right, next, let's check out the cymbal. I'm going to switch up my MIDI pattern. Here we go. There's a tone control for the cymbal. Make it a bit bright or slightly duller. There's also a decay control for the cymbal. So just like the open hi-hat, you can control the decay. So you do get to tonally control the cymbal. So that's pretty cool. 3 controls for the cymbals, 3 controls for the kick drum, 3 on the snare, and for the open hi-hat, you just have this decay control. I forgot this last sound, the cowbell. Let's bring it up. Again, no timbre control here, just pure level control. So that's basically it. I would say the machine sounds fantastic. If you want that classic 808 sound, this would be ideal. The only drawback being that you will need some kind of a sequencer to control the machine. And when I say control, I'm just talking about triggering the drum sounds. We don't get any kind of modulation CV input or even MIDI CC control. But there's always workarounds to that. You can just record the audio and tweak the dials as you're recording it. Not the best option, but it's possible. Now this is 2019, there are so many drum machine options out there with so many features. The 808 is definitely lacking in some aspects, but the focus here is definitely not sequencing. It's just about getting that classic 808 sound in an analog box. And there's no doubt this is a fully analog, true representation of the Roland TR-808. And if you're interested in getting something like that, this would be a great buy. Alright, I hope you guys found this review helpful. Let me know your thoughts in the comments below, and I'll see you in the next one.